So we're now a third of the way into 2021, and who would have thought a year ago this would be where we are? With interest rates predicted to stay low till at least 2024, this market will continue. Yes, it will slow down at some point, and it may even back off a little bit, but that's not a reason not to buy now, because it will go up before it backs off anyway. And you don't lose money buying real estate, you lose money selling real estate. Well, let me clarify that. You lose money selling real estate if you sell it too quickly after you purchase it, if the market stays flat or even goes down a little bit. If you hang on to real estate long enough, it goes up in value pretty much across the board, unless you've bought property in an area where whatever has made that property or that area productive and attractive goes away like a big coal mine. I am noticing a very, very tiny slowdown, but only in some areas and only in some price ranges. In one particular area, call me if you want to know what the area is, I've seen the lower end around the $700,000 price range soften up just a little bit. Instead of getting 5 or 10 offers, we're only getting 1 or 2. And that's an indication that we're running out of buyers in that price range. In the same area, up around the 800 to 850 price range, still frenetic. In fact, it's going stronger than the lower price range right now. So kind of an interesting little twist, and just something I'm going to keep my eye on. And again, this is just in one particular area. So as we move into the cooler months, May, June, July, and cooler is a relative term up in Queensland, and I do understand that, we traditionally see some sort of slowdown. And I think we may see a very tiny slowdown in different areas like I just mentioned, but in general, we're not going to see a 10% slowdown. It may be 1 or 2%, but that's probably about it. And that's moving into the cooler months, and then that will start to pick up again probably September would be my guess. So as a buyer, you may have slightly more choice in the next couple of months. You'll still have to pay a premium price, but you may have a choice of 2 or 3 properties instead of possibly owning 1 property. So across the board, whether it's housing, residential in town, or rural property, whether it's units, newer, older, whether it's land being larger parcels or smaller parcels, everything's moving along at about the same rate. I just heard a stat the other day that some areas where we are on the Sunshine Coast are going up at 3% per month. That's not sustainable, obviously, because that's, 30% per year. Won't be able to sustain that, but for a few months we probably can see that. And again, still a lot of pressure on the market. Most of it driven by locals, about 80% being driven by locals, so locals are still driving the market. But we still have New South Wales and Victoria pushing that last 20% up. So on the rental side, boring, no change. If we have a property that comes up for lease, we put on the market, we have a ton of people come through it, we have a ton of applications, we choose the best application for our homeowner, obviously, and put everything to bed. So that hasn't changed, and I don't anticipate that will change throughout the year. If anything, there'll be more pressure on that as the year goes on towards, obviously, November, December, when traditionally is the really, really high pressure time of year for rentals. I think the pressure is going to double. So if you are in a property, if you're a tenant and your lease is coming up in those months, you've got to really think ahead if for some reason your lease is not going to be renewed or your property is up for sale. So that's pretty much it. Kind of short and sweet this week because there's not a lot of change in the market. Things are still just rolling along. Again, I keep saying this, but they will. They will slow down at some point and maybe come down a little bit. As a buyer, you may have more choice in the next couple of months, but you're still going to have to pay a premium price. You just won't be competing against 10, 20 or 30 offers. You might only be competing against 1 or 2 offers. So that's kind of the big change that I see right now. And certain price ranges are moving better than other price ranges. But if you want more detail on that, as a buyer, give me a call. As a seller, obviously, give me a call. And if you're a landlord and you want your property managed, I'd love that call too. That's it. See you all for the Market Watch next month. See you all next week for my weekly updates.